To all of our fans, we like to present Raid Saddle Legends. Join us in this tale of a generic fantasy with assets taken from Terra and WoW. Raid offers us an enriching story, which is... I don't fucking know. Buy their shit. I'm trying to get paid, nigga. Well, anyway, avoid those Japanese gacha games. They result in gambling addictions. Trust us, Goyim. Raid is a completely legit game. We don't have microtransactions or stolen character designs. Hell, we even joined in a random esports athlete. So bring out those cards. Buy more gems. Buy more champions. Buy. Give us your secos. Goddamn. What happened to me? Was I possessed? That's the last time I ever sponsor anything from Israel. Sweet. Awesome. This game saves automatically. Do not turn off the system on the save icon is displayed. Hello, Moonies! Sorry about that. It's me, Moonliightchan, and I'm here playing Witch on the Holy Night demo. I got the sniffles, so please forgive me. I want to save. Damn it! Damn it! Witch on the Holy Night trial version disclaimer. The contents of this trial version utilizes data that is still under development. For this reason, some parts may differ from the full release. Please understand that yada yada yada. Type Mood presents This is a story of two witches residing in a mansion up a hill. Ooh. Witch on the Holy Night. Sorry about that. January 5th. Okay, so guys, FYI, I like visual novels. And as if you can't tell by the Fate Grand Order videos, I like Type Moon properties. As for Tsukihime, I've only played Arcade Route in the original, and maybe someday I'll play the remake. And as you can tell, I'm definitely going to be doing a Let's Play of Witch on the Holy Night when it comes out in January, I believe. And furthermore, this game should be fully voiced. That's what I believed. But nevertheless, I'm really glad it came out. It's being released in America. That's so awesome. Ugh. And furthermore, Moonies, bear with me. I still got the sniffles. An hour ago, it sounded fine. But now it's coming back. Now this cold is coming back. Oh well. Much like the weather outside, the foyer was overcast with shades of gray. Perhaps by deliberate design, the architect had chosen not to include any lights in the entrance area. The ceiling was 2 floors high. The only light in the room came from the skylight. It was particularly gloomy on rainy days. On moonless nights, it was like the world itself ceased to be. Alco decided the drawing room to the east would be a good place to rest, but knowing that she would not be able to relax until she changed clothes, she started up the stairs. The stairs curled up the wall to the 2nd floor hall. There was a 3rd floor attic as well, accessible from the far end of the hall. She had never set foot in there in the 2 years she had lived here, though. Cease. The Kuwanji mansion was more or less divided into two wings, east and west. Aoko had been given the entire east wing, but 2 rooms were more than enough as far as she was concerned. She had no desire to open a door that would trap you in a storybook world or lead to an attic that had only been used for storage these last 5 years. Cease. Ooh, nice transition. Aoko's room was at the end of the east wing's long corridor. She had elected for a smaller room for no other reason than that she thought it would be easier to clean. True that. It was furnished with a large bed, her beloved mahogany desk, a wardrobe and a chest for her clothes, and 2 nice oak bookcases. That is all she brought with from her home. Her entire life of 16 years reduced to this. She borrowed the next room down for her own purposes. Jeez. Well, so far X moves the story along, but what do the other buttons do? Sorry. Oh, okay. Oh, sweet. Okay. Okay, that's a quick save. Let's see, voice recording. Ooh, okay. He needed to see if the projects he had been working on all night had borne fruit. Yeah, sorry guys. The study next door served as proof of the life she had been living for the last year and how different that life was from the one she had lived before. It was not a room for the person she had been. It was a room for the person she would eventually become, a place of solitude that only she could enter, or so she thought. The nosy neighbor that had intruded upon her sanctuary flew away. Oh, what a cute little bird. Hey, birdie. While not exceptionally talented, Aoko did not lack for effort and was not afraid to fail. One could have almost mistaken her approach for optimism. She changed out of her uniform and returned to the first floor. Down the stairs, she opened the door to the east wing into the corridor as dark as a cellar. The absence of windows meant it was pitch black without the lights on, so she flickered the switch and entered a nearby doorway. Oh. Yeah, I agree. I'm not an addict, but I really can't live without the internet. It had been her idea to update the drawing room. The walls were decorated with extravagant patterns, and around the room were large, majestic sofas and a luxurious Persian rug. Amidst it all was a 30-inch television that seemed completely out of place. And still looking over the other furniture like the emperor with no clothes. The mansion's owner would have rather done without it, but to a commoner like Alco, it was an essential commodity. Woo! Yeah, I fought over his presence at first, but eventually came to an agreement, and I mutually enjoyed this modern comfort. Now, in a somewhat pleasant mood, he decided to brew some tea. She boiled some water in the kitchen, prepared a teapot, and made herself some black tea. With the flops, he sank into the sofa. She took a sip of her tea, then another. Wow. 10 minutes in, and, well, this visual novel is already beautiful and wondrous. And the story's got me hooked too. Lulled by the ticking of the clock, she took a third sip as she pondered how to spend her afternoon. The sofa almost seemed to be inviting her, and she sunk even further into his comforting embrace. Alco blearily opened her eyes as she lifted her body up from the cushions. Oh, hello. This was no dream or delusion. At some point, a girl had sat down across from her. Not the least bit surprised, she reached out for a teacup. But the tea within had gone completely cold. Yep, you sure did. It's nighttime. She asked the question to the girl on the other side of the table. The girl answered without lifting her gaze. When silent, she could have been mistaken for a beautiful doll. The girl sitting on the opposite sofa was reading an old book. She had delicate limbs and pale white skin. Not a hint of humanity emanated from her melancholic aura. She had darker hair than Alco, and her icy eyes were focused on the pages in front of her. Her clothes resembled that of a nun, but were actually her school uniform. In Alco's humble opinion, the gloominess suited her. She evoked something like out of a painting. There was something unreal about her, as if she were frozen in time. The white of her neck was so lovely that even Alco found herself enchanted by it. The girl was one of the haunted house's 2 residents. Her name was Alice Kawanji, and she was the same age as Alco. How long was I asleep? Oh, it's not much of a big deal, but I've known about this for years. I remember even seeing this on a website called fuanovel.com. Ugh. I just wanted to let you know, Moonies. At least an hour. Jeez. Alice answered indifferently, not that it bothered Alco, who was now used to it. She looked at the clock on the wall and saw that it was already 7. She had been asleep for 2 hours. The day had been a rough one for her, and she had slept little the night before, so it was no surprise that she had dozed off for as long as he had. You could have woken me up. Jeez. Damn. This code's getting me, guys. Alko drank down the rest of the cold tea in one gulp. In a poorly heated Kawanji mansion, there was more than enough to clear her head and wake up. After 2 years together, they knew each other quite well. Alko had one way of asking questions, and Alice had another. Alice asked without raising her head, and Alko gave her the details. Alko tried to laugh it off as if it was someone else's problem. Just got you there, Alko. Alice is very much on point today. It was true that despite outward appearances, Alko was seething with frustration. Well, calm down, girl. That aside, Alice raised her head in response to hearing her name. But Alko kept going on before she could get a word in edgewise. Alko, after all, experienced no sympathy in the first place. Wait a minute. But go easy on him. Jeez, Alko. God damn it. Now let's see. Oh jeez, I'm sorry guys. What was he really worried about was having to clean up that mess if and when it happened. That had to be it. If not, it would mean you had no real idea why we did not get him out of his head. Alice sought a glance at Alco. Her body buried in the sofa remained as still as a corpse. It was clear Alco had tuned out the conversation. Alice silently chastised her with a look. The more she thought about it, the less important the events of the day seemed to become. If she just ignored Alice, the conversation would end there. They would eventually get up and leave today's mistake unresolved for another day. However, that's not the kind of person Alco Aozaki was. See Axe still lying down? The coldness in her voice made Alco gnash her teeth. She knew what Alice wanted to say. She knew better than anyone. The veneer she wore for school was different than the way she lived at home. While it could be called hiding in plain sight, Alice thought it was silly. And what the silence told her was, today's failure was not a colossal one. She just happened to upset the delicate balance between her home and school lives, chasing one at the expense of the other. And yet that killer's mistake was a clear sign of Alco's lack of commitment. She had only known for sure for the last year and a half. But she had a hunch for as long as he could remember. Make the choice and the day will come. It was little wonder that her morals and conscience had been stripped away. Alco pushed herself back up. She was met by Alice's cold beauty and wordless gaze. Alco could not help but shake her head, feeling like she was hearing something similar for the second time that day. Even in the comfort of her own, she couldn't banish thoughts of that country boy from her mind. Ah, geez, I'm sorry, guys. Alco grabbed the remote and turned on the TV. Since Alice was busy reading, Alco decided to tune into a variety show that had already started. I think I missed a few lines. I'm sorry. After that brief exchange, Alice returned her attention to the book on her lap. Soft talk was over. Now they could return to their normal relationship as roommates. Alice started to speak but suddenly cut herself off. One of her delicate hands raised to her mouth. She would always cut herself off the second she realized she was about to say something trivial. Sometimes her self-restraint would hit too late, and she would make a gesture like the one she was making now. It occurred to Alco that the sound her cute little roommate made just now was different than what she blurted in times past. Alice looked away bashfully, not knowing if she should bring it up or not. It was times like these that her expression carried a real warmth and surprising charm. If he could see her in this moment, Alice's father would have to admit that her name suited her perfectly. Ooh, what is it? Alco nodded, beckoning her to continue. Now come on, say it, Alice. Uh, what? Is that a Totoro reference? Really? For a second, Alco thought Alice was trying and failing miserably to make a joke again. One would think about anyone, really. But she seemed completely serious. Ooh. Even if Alice's sense of humor fell flat for Alco, this story already sounded more fanciful than Alice's usual attempt at jokes. Alco concluded that her roommate was talking about something she had actually seen. Alice nodded tentatively at her words. Let's see. Alice nodded tentatively at her words. Ooh. Alice's gaze drifted at that. Alco loved getting takeout, and her face glowed as he spoke. They had no hard rules for dinner, but if one of them was in the mood to cook, they had made it a point to make enough for two. At the very worst, this meant entire weeks without dinner, but the two of them agreed that it was the system that worked best for them. Whether they found cooking to be too much effort or simply like ordering out, nights like this one were a common occurrence, much to the chagrin of the restaurants of Misaki Town. Delivering to the mansion meant coming all the way up to the top of this hill, the source of their disgruntlement. The hungry student council president took out their many menus and excitedly looked for anything that stood out. Alice casually responded without sparing so much as a glance. All right. With those words, Alco froze. All deliveries required a minimum of 2 items, so she was out of luck without an accomplice. Well, just order more stuff for yourself, Alco. Cruel society had decided it couldn't be bothered to deliver a princess who only ordered a single serving of food. Incidentally, the contract orders from the Hilltop Mansion, the restaurants had declared the minimum number of orders will be 3 starting next year. Aw, jeez. Well, you better learn how to cook, Alco. Alco and Alice were still in the dark to this fiendish change in direction. It was unknown how serious Alko was being, but she was visibly angry. She had already woken up hungry that morning, and from the time she was called into school until now, she had consumed nothing but tea. It was a small miracle that her stomach was not growling. She knew it was her own fault, but she persisted, wanting to get revenge on Alice for scolding her earlier. Alko had kicked a hornet's nest. A hornet's nest. Jeez. Jeez. Alice's icy gaze pierced right through her. Alko had certainly crossed the line by going on and on about how the sushi circled around the restaurant or Alice ate her convenience store meal. Jeez. But new things fascinated her, and she couldn't contain her curiosity towards the conveyor belt sushi shops that started popping up at the time. They were nothing sort of miraculous. Even honesty can be a sin given the right circumstances. Alice went back to her book without so much as recognizing the question. The fact that she did not confirm it made Alko anxious. She stood up, announcing her intent to no one in particular. Alice's hand froze on her current page. She suddenly shut the book she was reading and stood up, as if at wit's end. She walked across the drawing room with her book in hand. When she reached the door, she stopped and turned toward Alko. Alko nodded timidly, cowed by Alice's sudden vigor. Alice continued in her matter-of-fact way. A cat? And with that brief response, she left the room. Which on the holy night? Tick-tock. Walking around the mansion at night often led to mysterious encounters. Mist might suddenly fill the hallway. Or doors might appear and disappear. Just when Sojiro thought he had seen it all with pig-shaped saddles mending the carpet, he heard the sound of a bird's flapping coming from the sunroom. Hey, Sojiro. Sojiro. As much as he had become accustomed to turning a blind eye to such occurrences, the sound of flapping wings in the sunroom was too much to ignore. And not just one bird or even two, it sounded like dozens. So many birds packed into the sunroom would inevitably lead to shattered windows and broken glass. Sojiro grabbed a broom and dashed toward the sound, prepared for the worst. Perhaps he was moved by his natural impulse to help or desperate self-defense. His mind flashed to what a teacher had said at school. Oops, sorry. At the time, school gangs had garnered a certain reputation among the youths. His roommates were harsh enough with him already. Anything further would only lead to rampant rumors at school about their cruelty. He had to protect the honor of the student council president. It was also a concern for his own safety that sent him rushing to the sunroom, however. There wasn't a bird to be seen or a chirp to be heard upon his arrival. Oh, he's living with them? I wonder why. Only Alice and Alco, sipping afternoon tea at the table that overlooked the courtyard, were present. The dozens of birds Sojiro had sent with his mountain intuition was nowhere to be seen. It was a lie so blatant even Sojiro could see through it. Could those birds be their familiars? He knew for a fact that he heard the flapping of a flock of birds. Unable to accept there really were no wild animals in the room, Sojiro approached the windows with suspicion. There were no feathers or any other signs of birds having been outside either. Of course, Alka would say something like that as he watched Sojiro search desperately. Jeez. You gotta deal with it. Seriously, learn how to cook. Alko's stand-up routine was far ahead of his time. Sojiro backed away from the window and begrudgingly left the sunroom. Feeling Alice's all too familiar inscrutable gaze upon his back. Ah! Ah! Bad, Mr. Bird. Bad. A blue comet crashed into his head. It needed no explanation. It can only be Robin, the mysterious bird that appeared frequently in the mansion. Is Alice pissed or something? Chirp, chirp, chirp. It shrilled accusingly. The truth was, the tiny aggressor that assaulted him just now was the greatest of the mansion's 7 wonders. Aw, it's so cute. Hey, little birdie. Ooh. I love the music. Sojiro encountered all sorts of people along his route to work. Still new to city life, he found the crowds of people outside the station utterly fascinating. In fact, they were the highlight of his commute. No two people wore exactly the same clothes or walked in the same fashion. With so many people, you would think they would all melt into an indistinguishable huddle, but each person he saw was different and unique. Sojiro was excited as a child as he looked out at the bustling, diverse streets of the city. Ah, jeez. I'm blocking the test. Closing his eyes and saying he sighed. He was upset with himself for behaving like a bubbling tourist from the countryside. There's nothing... Jeez. Everyone's so rough on him. Jeez. Give Sojiro a break. And why is his neck injured? A stern and familiar voice behind him snapped him out of his navel gazing. The girl who greeted him was Kojika Kumari, a work friend who was also in the same year at Misaki High. Though it would have been more accurate to say that she was looking for a pretext to fight him rather than greet him. The Sojiro Kumari had been the first person in the city he could look up to. They met at his first job, where she insisted he wasn't cut out to work the register after many mistakes and convinced him to quit working at convenience stores altogether. Jeez. Why don't someone help Sojiro out? Poor guy. In the end, he introduced him to his current job at the Chinese restaurant, the Mad Bear, a much better fit for Sojiro. Though her tone was stern, her eyes were earnest. Having grown up in the city herself, she was irritated by virtually everything Sojiro said and did. Cease. Calm down. What's up Kumari's butt? Nevertheless, he still treated him like an equal. Introducing him to his current job was just one example of her sincerity. Sojiro could not find the words to explain the situation, but that did not stop him from trying. There were no problems at the Mad Bear to speak of. He liked it just as much as the other job at Uotatsu, the fishmongers in the shopping district. In fact, his problem had nothing to do with work at all. No, his problem was a certain blue bird that would not stop pecking at him recently. He stopped, unsure of how to proceed. Words alone were not enough to convey the bird's plump body or the sound of his chirping. Her words were perfectly kind, but he could hardly sympathize with the creature after all the painful pecking to which I subjected him. Is that why he's wearing the bandages? Damn. Being Sojiro is suffering. He wouldn't have called the bird lonely either. Her example had reminded him of the mystery of the disappearing birds at the mansion. A stranger than strange event. It took 30 minutes to reach town on foot. The 40 minutes to the nearest convenience store would be the real kicker for most people, but for Sojiro, it was no inconvenience. The real problem was the dark forces beyond human understanding that lurk within the grounds. Ah, jeez. Man, what a tsundere. Her statement could hardly be more self-contradictory. Minutes after telling him to be nice to a bird that attacked him, she was now claiming she did not even like animals. Hmm. Hmm. Ew, what a pretty sky. The morning sun alerted Sojiro that a day of work lay ahead. Specifically, the gardens needed tending to, and an unkept garden made for an unhappy Sojiro. Luckily, today was his day off from all of his part-time jobs. It was the perfect opportunity to get his hands dirty. There was one problem, however. The mansion's grounds were vast. Ah, jeez. Not only had the courtyard been left to run wild, but the area around the front door had been neglected too. To tend to these problems thoroughly, he would have had to work on them week in, week out. In an ideal world, his task would only take a day, but for its enormity. For the moment, Sojiro decided to set foot into the mansion's wilderness and evict the weeds. Wasting none of the early light, he started tackling the ones around the mansion. By his estimation, he could clear the courtyard, backyard, then take a small rest. It was just about before noon in the sunroom. Alice had come down, book in hand, to find Alco sitting down with the fashion magazine and elegantly sipping tea. Okay, you know what, guys? I think I'll end the video here. So far, I'm loving this demo. So I can't wait to get the full game in January. In any case, thank you for, watching me, watching me read Witch on the Holy Night, even though, I'm suffering from the sniffles. Nevertheless, Moonies, like, subscribe, follow us on our main channel, Moonlight Artists. All of our socials are down in the description below. And to the rest of you guys, see you on the other side of the moon. Bye, Moonies. See ya. Yo Moonies, this video is sponsored by Skillshare, an amazing website filled with actual pros in their field who won't indoctrinate your kids in the commies and even give them real professions. If you're a high school graduate, Skillshare can provide the education without you getting raped as a female or getting falsely accused of rape if you're male. And you won't get raped by chewy loan sharks. Remember the phrase, low membership a day keeps the student loans away. Join Skillshare, then get married, but not to the banks. For the grand finale, we welcome you to our side of the moon. Make sure you subscribe and follow us to see our exquisite artwork, as well as our second channel, MoonliightGaming. And if you want, don't forget to support us too. I'm Moonliightchan. I'm Moonliightchan. And we're beyond this world. Bye!